my YouTube channel Manoj Networker. So today in our class, so let's talk about what is a CDP, what is an lldp, followed by DNS explanation. So I'll quickly summarize what is a CDP and what is a lldp, followed by I'll also show one lab so that you will get some idea about CDP and lldp protocols. So basically CDP stands for Cisco Discovery Protocol, is a very important protocol that will work in layer 2 and it will come by default on all the Cisco switches. So the main job of this protocol is it is used to share information with other directly connected Cisco equipment like the operating system and the IP addresses. So besides sharing OS and IP addresses information, so this tool can also work as a powerful mechanism while doing any sort of troubleshooting. So as I said, CDP by default is enabled on most of the Cisco equipment. So let me tell you one use case why CDP is needed in the real-time environment. So like let's say, since you are seeing this topology, anyone can answer. So if I ask you a question, so tell me who are all the neighbors of this S1 switch. So anyone can easily answer, because since you are seeing the topology, you will say S1 is having relationship with S2 switch because they both are directly connected. So S1 is also connected to S3 switch, they both are directly connected. S1 is also have direct relationship with S4, and also S1 is connected to router 1. So now this switch 1 has 4 neighbors. So out of 4 neighbors, 3 are switches, 1 are router. So in the same way, if I ask you the same question, so tell me the neighbors for S2, switch 2, you can easily say, since you are seeing, so S2 has direct relationship with S1, switch 1, and S2 is also have direct relationship with access point 1. So we can easily answer all of the network devices here. But in real time, that's not the case. So we will not be able to see where the devices are available. So maybe this switch is sitting from building 1, maybe this router is sitting from building 3, so this switch 3 is sitting from building 4, so maybe this switch 4 is sitting from BLAN 10. So they will spread across all my infra, all my big, I am managing big infrastructure. So all these 5 switches or 4 routers, anything, so they will span across multiple regions. So we need one protocol to manage all these people. So that's why CDP will come. So CDP stands for Cisco Discovery Protocol. So it will tell to the network engineer how the devices are connected to each other and who are all the neighbors. So let me go back to the topology so that you will even understand better. So I'm just reusing the last session topology. So if any one of you missed the last class, I suggest you to please complete that lab first and come back so that you will understand. Now if you see, since you are seeing the topology, this core switch has 3 relationship. So it is having relationship with B1, it is having relationship with B2. B1, B2 is nothing but building 1 and building 2. So this switch is also having relationship with B3 switch. So how to prove that means, so let's go to that multi-layer switch and just go to the CLI and enable config T. I'm just making it big so that you can see the output. Sorry, config T not needed anyway. So show CDP and neighbors. So as I said, CDP is a default protocol that will by default come up with the Cisco switches. We no need to run any extra commands to enable this protocol. So CDP, if you see, it is clearly telling so how many neighbors I have. So with this output, you can even draw the topology. Like let's say Manoj is a network engineer newly joined to some ABC company. So I have the newly joined to ABC company and I have got access to this core switch. So now my manager asked me to draw the topology maps. So now what I can do, okay, now I am in ABC company. So this is my switch 1 and this is acting as a core switch. And now if you see, it has capability, you can see all capabilities yes only. So S stands for switch. That means I have SWB1 nothing but switch from B1, switch from B2, switch from B3. That means I have 3 more switches in my topology. They are S2, they are S3 and they are S4. So their names are nothing but SWB1, SWB2, SWB3, and end of the day they all will connect with the cables. And now then what you needed, the capabilities. You see here it's clearly telling they all are switches. And now you can see the platform also. You see how many information you are getting. That means sitting from this switch one, accessing the CLI of this switch, I am able to see which models they are from. So they are from 2960 hardware models. And this is also very important, guys. So which interface, they are connected. So local interface, that means switch B1 I am connected on gigabit 1/0/2. So on this port I have connected to the switch number building 1. So on this port gigabit 0/3 I have connected to the switch from building 2. So that means this interface is nothing but gigabit 1/0/3. So this is 1/0/4. You can have a look on the output also. So 1/0/4 on this interface switch building 3 is connected, and you can also see the opposite port numbers also. You can see so all the ports they are using gigabit GA0/1, gigabit 0/1. You see, sitting remotely you can build your infrastructure, and there is no limit for CDP. Like let's say you connected one access point here, so that entry will be added, and platform it will show the access point, and capability it will show the AP, and it will get all the hardware model and everything. So the list will keep on increase how many network devices you are adding, but please understand it will not function for any computers. So like let's say there is one computer added here, like let's say there is one more computer 2 and computer 1 added here. So CDP will not work for any network devices, but it will work for VoIP devices. So let's go back to the topology. So since let's go to the building 1 and let's ask who is the neighbor, show CDP neighbor. So I'll go to the B1, and now if you see the topology, it is having direct relationship with this core switch, and 2 computers are also connected. But let's see what output it will show. So I'm going to this switch. I'll just make it big. So enable, I am on switch from B1. So show CDP neighbors, very simple command. Now if you see, it is just talking about I have a direct relationship with core switch only. So since they are computers, they are end devices, it will not show related to CDP information to the computers. Please don't confuse. That doesn't mean the switches and the computers are not talking. They are talking. These computer from HR, this computer from marketing, they still talking to the switch, but CDP is a protocol that will work for only network devices. Since computers are not a network devices, you are unable to see CDP here. So CDP will not live here, CDP will also not live here. Same story for this switch also. Even if you go to this building switch, if you ask show CDP neighbor, so it will say only core switch is my neighbor. This computer is not my neighbor, this computer is not my neighbor, because they both don't know the CDP protocols. So I hope is clear what is a CDP, and let's go back to the theory. So as I said, VoIP phones also they can run the CDP protocol, and as I said, by default the CDP is enabled. If you would like to disable the CDP, yes, you have an option to do that. So simply just run no CDP run. So you can log into any of the switch. Just for instance, let's log into any access switch and let's type no CDP run, so that it will stop the CDP capabilities. So how to do that? No CDP run, as simple as it is. And if you would like to enable again, simply CDP run. So that's how we can use the CDP. So if you disable CDP, what will happen means that particular switch, it will not show the neighbor relationship status to the other switches or other routers. So you can, these are the CDP verification commands. So you can type show CDP neighbor details, or show CDP neighbor details. So all those things we can see. So let's go back to the switch, and now just making it big. show, as I said, you can use question marks also. So show CDP, let's use the question mark. Now if you see neighbors and detail, so if you use this one, it will even show more details about your neighbor. So you can see it is telling device ID is switch from building 1, what is the IP address also it's showing 192.168.1.200, platform it is showing, which interface, hold down time, so version also it is showing. If you see duplex information also it's showing, so it will get multiple information. So it's simple, you can also practice. So that's the use case of your CDP protocol. So moving further, let's talk about LLDP protocol. So LLDP protocol is also a layer 2 protocol. It's just inverse of CDP. So CDP is a Cisco proprietary protocol, whereas LLDP is a link layer discovery protocol. So to understand better, let me draw some topology. So let's say all these people are from Cisco. All these access points, all these switches, all these routers, they are from Cisco. So let's say I have bought one more new switch too, but this is from, for example, Juniper. And now here this Juniper, it will not run CDP by default. So these guys will run CDP by default. So what will happen means, if I go and ask this switch one, show me your CDP neighbor, so even though they both are connected, it will not talk about this person, because CDP will work only for Cisco related equipment. Now if you see, this is a vendor neutral, I mean this is Juniper is from different vendor, so that's why CDP will not work. So to solve the problem, we need to go for LLDP protocol. So LLDP stands for link layer discovery protocol. So the working of LLDP protocol is same as CDP. The only difference is CDP is a Cisco proprietary, LLDP is a vendor neutral. So very important for your interview questions also. Tell me the differences between CDP protocol and LLDP protocol. So LLDP by default it will not be available. You need to run it on the switches. So how to run means LLDP run. So CDP is by default enable on all the switches, but if you would like to run, you can do CDP run. If you would like to disable, we can simply type no CDP run. So here also, if you would like to disable, so simply we can type no LLDP run. So let's go back to our topology. So since we are using Cisco packet tracer, so all the devices by default they are from Cisco only. So but let's enable LLDP also. So how to do that means, just go to config team mode. So LLDP, so let's use question mark. Now if you see LLDP run, so if you put run, it will ensure that LLDP protocol is running, so that it will be discovered for non-Cisco switches also. And if you would like to disable the LLDP, so it's not recommended to disable CDP and LLDP in real-time environment, but you should know how to disable LLDP and CDP. So I hope you have understood about CDP and LLDP. So LLDP again the same thing. So if you would like to see the neighbors, so show LLDP neighbors or show LLDP neighbor details. I am not running these commands because these are all Cisco switches only, so you will not get any information. So even if you type show LLDP, you see LLDP is, I mean it's just showing not enabled because LLDP is not running. So to ensure that LLDP is running, so simply type LLDP run, and now let's ask for show LLDP neighbors. Anyways, it will not show because there is no non-Cisco device here, that's why it will not show, and that is going to be absolutely fine. So I hope you have understood the differences between CDP and LLDP. So moving further, so let's talk about DNS. On the same lab, I just want to implement DNS. So just give the recap of yesterday what we have done. This HR computer sitting from VLAN 10, he is going and accessing the resources from attendance server. So just to validate, so I am just going to this switch, I am going to web browser. So just to see if the attendance server is responding or not. So http 192.168 4.1. So 4.1 is going to be my attendance server from Cisco company. So now I am able to browse it. Very good. But in real time, what we will do, we will not use this kind of naming, right? So what we normally will do, we'll type some this kind of fqdn. So attendance.cisco.com. So let's assume this is my computer. So what you can do, so normally if this is an Cisco computer, if I am Cisco employee, what I normally will do, I'll type attendance.cisco.com from my Cisco computer, so that I can access that particular server. So anyway, now it will not work because this computer is not from their LAN network. So in the same way, the idea is to, if you type attendance.cisco.com, if you click on go, it will not work because there is no person here to resolve that URL. If you see here, we are getting host name unresolved error. So that is expected only. Why means there is no DNS entry. So what we need to do, so we need to make that server as a DNS server. So the IP of the DNS server is going to be 192.168.4.1, and in the DNS server we need to map the record manually to that particular fqdn. So if anybody is asking for attendance.cisco.com, you as a DNS server 4.1, you need to respond. So how to do that? So to do that, let's also make this server as a DNS server. So go to the server. So go to the services, and now I am in DNS. So let's enable the services for on. So name is going to be attendance.cisco.com. So just copy paste it. So if anybody is asking for this URL, you as a DHCP server, so your IP address is going to be 192.168.4.1, and I am just creating the A record here, and just click on add and ensure your DNS service is on. So now you go back to the HR computer and just try to resolve it now. And before doing that, just ensure the computer is having the DNS server IP. So just go to the IP configuration. We need to have it here. This is very important. So we need to manually type who is the DNS server. So 192.168.4.1. So just go to the web browser. So now if you see, if you type at http.attendancecisco.com, so you are getting the web page. That means there is one person DNS who is mapping the IP addresses to the FQDNs. So that's the basic operation of the DNS server. So I hope the session is informative. So if you have any questions, so please do let me know. Thanks for watching.